Used to be my girl. Used to be my girl. Shoop, 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 doop, doop. I know y'all think I'm crazy than a mug. But as I was going to work today, I was listening to that. Some good old OJs. OJs remind me of my grandmama. But that is not why I have the camera on. It is time to have an unashamed and unapologetic moment on video, y'all. That is my jam, and I think it's appropriate that we have a little talk here. Why? Because I've had some encounters, I guess you could say, repeatedly, and I am puzzled even, and we need to talk about it. That's my jam, and so it makes me think of some recent requests. I'm wondering, how many of you out there, be honest, we grown, we can be honest, how many of you still keep in touch with exes, ex so-called lovers, ex-girlfriends, ex-husbands, ex meaning former, ex meaning it didn't work out, ex meaning that's my past. How many of y'all still have relations with them? And I'm not talking about the ones that you have to have them, meaning that you guys have children together. You guys might actually have a successful business venture that you still should keep going. And if you guys are mature enough, I guess, those are things that still bind you. I don't know if I would be able to do that with an ex afterwards, but if you still got children, you have to be able to work it out. But I'm talking about those of us who are undoubtedly single. We do not have anything that will keep us with an ex. Do you still hang out with them? How many of y'all listening to this, because we have Facebook and all, have actually reached out to your exes because that's available to us? I mean, you thinking about somebody that you was stone cold in love with back in the day. I'm talking about your first love, your high school love, maybe your college sweetheart, that kind of thing. What about, ex-husbands, you know what I'm saying? Ex-wives. How many of y'all, because of social media, you thought about them, they came across your head, and you decided to dig them up? For those of you who did it because it didn't end bad, it just didn't work out, that kind of thing. How about people that you have slept with that you didn't have a relationship with? So these are people that you have been quote unquote intimate with, you have shared yourself with, and y'all just stopped. And then you thought about them a couple of years later. Let me look up so and so. Are y'all honestly comfortable with that kind of activity? I am posing these serious questions, these interesting questions, because I'm stunned at the amount of people who do that. And because I have had exes repeatedly try to reach out to me through Facebook and other modes, repeatedly. And so a one-off is one, but it really has me thinking, especially with maybe because men are different than women. Why do men do it? I'm curious. Especially because this one particular one I'm talking about, I woke up yesterday and he has sent a DM on Facebook. I received it 2:46 a.m. It was sent. I was asleep, y'all. But 2:46 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, it was, "Hi Shay." That's my nickname. Only people who call me Shay is people who know me, who love me. I mean, that's, Shay is like Shay. That's my childhood name. "Hi Shay. Would love to talk to you." And he throws out his number. The last time he hit me a while back, I gave him crickets. My mind has not changed. It's absolutely pointless for me to call you, sir. Why? I'm like, I don't know if you got amnesia. I mean, this is somebody I was actually engaged to at one point. But it was like years ago. And before y'all get to throwing the stones at me, I'm talking about engaged, but it was not a good relationship. This is somebody who repeatedly cheated on me. It was crazy, and it ended crazy. It ended with me getting him a motorcycle. He should have been paying on the loan when I was living in Europe, and he defaulted on the loan while I was out of town. Like, I ended up having to pay on it until I was able to sell it. It was crazy. It was bananas. I had to go to court. It was so stupid. And I will never forget that. It took me years to get over him and to recuperate and to find myself. And so I was wondering if he remembered that. And so for your first interaction out the gate to be, hey, what's up? Let me holler at you. No, I think the first thing in my inbox should be like, yo, man, like, it's been years since I've seen you, talk to you, and I thought about how it was, and I'm sorry. Like, I think that should have been your first thing. Not, hey, would love to talk to you. Like, we cool. Like, it was young and it just ended. You moved to this side of the country. It was nothing like that. So I be wondering, do people get amnesia, or is it just arrogance? So that's my wonderment from the fellas, because it's not a sense of me not being healed. It's just like, wow, that's tacky. I remember that. And then two, for those of y'all that keep in contact, because I'm one of the types that don't keep in contact. Matter of fact, when the breakup is evident, when the dissipation is evident, when I know you have no interest in me, it's not a relationship in any cause, I will stop calling. I will stop answering any text or communication from you, and I block all social media from you. There is no reason for me to have contact for you. I do not go back to vomit. I allow myself to process fully and to come out of things or whatever. And ironically, God doesn't allow me to cross paths with them. It's happened a few times, but no, it's just pointless. So I don't go back. I don't accept it. And then, like, this is why I just don't get it, because what am I supposed to do? Like, for those of you who still keep communication with your exes, people that you was doing it with, and then y'all got significant others. Like, your significant others are cool with that? Do you not think it's like a sign of disrespect that you keep in contact in any kind of form with somebody you was getting down with? Or if you don't have a significant other, do you not see that as a spiritual blockage to someone that God may be trying to send, that if you're trying to think of marriage, in my case, I'm thinking of marriage. And so I'm not trying to have no open doors, no spiritual blockages by having a connection of any sort with anybody from my past, especially, because I heard Dr. Matthew Stevenson say, people that we said were high school sweethearts and all this kind of stuff. I'm thinking that now, this is me speaking from my Christian context or whatever. When I reflect on it, I was out of God's will, having sex out of marriage, right? And so now, if I look at it in a worldly sense, we say, that was, my high school sweetheart. No, you were a distraction. You were a distraction. You were sit straight from the pit. And this is me just giving you a little bit of my background. When I think about my ex-husband, that was a distraction. Listen, that was 10 years of my life I will never get back. That was delaying destiny. I should have been in California 10 years ago. He proposed to me 10 years ago, but guess what? Distracted. So no, I do not look back with it with fondness. I thank God that I survived it. But there's no reason for me to be connected with you in any kind of capacity. I know a colleague of mine, he was like, yo, if any of my exes call me, I would be down for them no matter what. Listen, I think this is my stone cold belief. Everything that I need and all the people that I need is here for me now. Everything that is aligned with God's will, His word and stuff is here for me now. So I don't think that an ex, I don't need to have an ex on speed dial to do anything for me. No, I have family and I have real friends. And I don't think God would have me to go back to something that wasn't in His will to save me in the time of need. I just don't see that. Right? So, yeah, I'm curious to see what y'all thoughts are about this. Yeah, I don't know. You know, people. I'm approaching a really you know, the end of a decade of life, and I just see things totally different. It's not entertaining. I'm fulfilled without it. And you know what? You know what? Now let me confess this. I did allow somebody that I got down with back a few years back. I did accept his social media request to follow me on Instagram, but I didn't follow him back. And it was my petty side that allowed him to follow me, because I wanted to let him see how good I still look. So yeah, that's my petty side that probably needs to be dealt with. But it was totally comical. I have no intentions of ever having any communications with this character again in life, because I recognize what he saw, what it was for at the time, and what I saw for it. He didn't see the value. And so yeah, so that was the only lapse or exception I recently made, because I thought it was fun. But this is ridiculous. Stop thinking of old flames or whatever the heck you want to call it, and DMing them and trying to be buddies, even buddies with me on social media. What for? Who has the time? Holla back, y'all. Thanks for listening to the very end. If you did, subscribe and let's dialogue about it. Let's talk about this weirdness, I call it. Peace.